It's absolutely insane when we look at the charts at just how explosive Injective Protocol, RNDR, and also ICP have been the last few months here. And remember, we still have 2 years to go until these projects really do shine. I think most people are now getting attracted to them, knowing their potential. And again, I think they're very unique. And because they're so unique and because they show some characteristics that I'm going to announce to you today, we're in for a very, very bullish 2025 indeed. So today, guys, I'm going to go through some of the bullish factors that underpin these projects and actually price predictions and then supportive evidence for my price predictions in terms of where they're going to go in the upcoming bull run. This is going to be a jam-packed video, 3 amazing altcoins you must take a close look into. Now, please, again, if you like the video, if you enjoy any part of it, do not forget to hit the like button. With that being said, let's begin. So again, I'm not going to just look at these altcoins and just tell you a price prediction or give you some stats that might make them sound good. I want to actually give you like hard facts, proof that they're going to do really well in the bull run based on what's actually happened the last few months and years with these altcoins. Now, we're going to start off with Injective Protocol. Most of you guys should know Injective Protocol by now. It is basically a interoperability Cosmos built layer 1 project focused on DeFi and spot markets and basically bringing on traditional market features into crypto. It's going to be huge, right? And it hits some pretty big nails on the head. But we'll start off with some of the more, I guess, degen-y type things. Let's look at some price predictions here. Now, I want to say for each of these altcoins, I've got 3 levels in mind. I've got a 10x, 20x, and 30x from the current prices. Keep in mind, the current prices for these altcoins are really, really extended from where they've been the last few months and years. We've seen these projects literally pump 3, 4, 5x from where they were like literally a month ago. So you could basically multiply these by 3 to 4 times, 30x, 50x, 100x basically, if you were looking at prices from very recently. So in this case, we're going to look at, again, the prices. So Injective 300, 600, and 1,000. But in that case, anyone can just throw some numbers on the project. I saw someone else the other day tell me that ICP was going to hit $750, right? That's like a $300 billion market cap. That's impossible, right? Impossible. It's on the cards, but very unlikely. So we're going to have to throw some numbers behind these, right? And in this case, we have to predict the market supply in the future. Now, I've done this for all these altcoins. In this case, Injective should see about 100 million. Actually, it probably will be likely a bit more than 100 million, but not by much. And that actually means at a 10x or $300 token price, that's $30 billion market cap, 60 billion and 100 billion for the $1,000 mark. That's crazy, yes, but you have to wait until you see this. This next part is going to put these numbers into perspective, and you're going to actually start to realize, hey, if everyone's talking about the global market cap going to these huge levels, these projects are on track to hit these marks, literally. Now, you'll find that one distinct feature I want to talk about for each of these altcoins is shared amongst all 3, and that's they all have a burn mechanism as well. Some stronger than others. I think RNDR has the best by far, but in second place over here, Injective isn't too bad by any stretch. They have a buyback and burn feature. Every month they collect the trading fees and they burn 60% of them, and so far they've burned 8% of the supply, right? Like 5.7 million tokens. Literally insane. So they do have a really great burn feature in place as well. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, hang on a second, Kyron, you talk about a $100 billion project? That's way too large. It's insane. Well, I want to take you through a couple of examples here, right? We saw Solana in the last bull market, basically 100 or 200x, matter of fact, went from $1.60 up to $200. Look at the market cap size. Injective right now being about 2.2 billion. It went from what, 2.2 billion back here up to about 70 to 80 billion. Cardano, the same thing, right? Went from like 3 cents up to $3, or the market cap size basically being the same as Injective, 2.2 billion, up to, again, it hit about 100 billion. So it's well and truly possible. And because we have more money in the global market, we're going to have more opportunities, not just Solana and Cardano. We're going to have like 5, 6, maybe even 10 projects hitting that $100 billion market cap level. And I think these 3 do have a very good chance of doing so. So in this case, again, we have to put some weight behind this, right? So I've said $40 billion market cap, right? What does that look like? Well, again, $400. Let's assume that Injective, our target is $400 token, right? That's a 13x from today's prices. Well, again, what does it actually need to look like in 2025? Well, we're going to use a metric here called market dominance on all of these. Very important we assess market dominance, because the market dominance of a project in the form of a percentage is that project's market cap and a percentage of the global market cap. So effectively, if Injective over here was 1.3% of the global market cap being 3 trillion at this time, then it would have a $40 billion market cap. Does that make sense? Over here, if the global market cap went to 10 trillion, likewise, we would have to have a 0.4% dominance, so a less percent, to reach the $40 billion market cap. Now, we're going to look at this because, again, this is how we can measure a project being, dominant because of the next step, the next thing I'm going to show you guys, right? So hang on with me, it's going to make sense in a second. So in this case, $40 billion market cap for Injective protocol at the different levels. We're going to start off at 3 trillion, which again was the last high of the global market. We hit about 3 trillion global market cap, right up to where people expect us to tip out at, possibly at 10 trillion. Well, in this case, all we have to do is match up what percentage the market cap dominance will be to what it's trending like right now, and again, different market cap sizes. So all Injective has to really obtain is a 1.3% market dominance to get to a $400 token, again, if the global market's 3 trillion. I think a very realistic level for the global market to go to is likely 7 to 8 trillion, and in this case, we could peak out over here. All we need is a 0.5% market dominance for Injective. So again, if you're someone buying Injective, I would think to yourself, okay, right, what do I have to achieve to get my $400? That's a 13x. Well, I have to look at these particular market dominance levels. Now, if we come down to the bottom over here and actually have a look at how it's been tracking and performing over the last few months and few years, the high it ever went to in the 2021 cycle over here had a market dominance of 0.02%. Very small, mind you. Over here, 12 months ago, almost to the day, it had 0.01. So it only fell by 0.01%. It pretty much fell by half over 12 months, pretty much from 2021 to 2022/2023, 2 years, right? Which is quite impressive. But here's where it really kicks in. Injective protocol in the last 12 months has 10x its market dominance from 0.01 back here at the start of 2023 to the now current 0.1. Matter of fact, it's much higher than that over here. We're not going to count this little pump over here. We're going to count what it really has been recently. 0.1%. So at this level, in the next 24 months, if we just 10x again, we will be at 1% dominance. Therefore, all we need to hit is a 4 trillion, as you can see, 1% market dominance, a 4 trillion global market cap to hit our target of $40 billion market cap, aka a $400 token, which is very, very impressive, right? So that just goes to show, hey, again, if we continue at this current trajectory, we will actually hit very easily our goal at a 4 trillion global market cap. It's quite impressive. Now, I'm not going to explain this process again for the next 2 altcoins, but just keep in mind how this works, how the market percent dominance works on the current course versus the global market cap, okay? So why I've picked these 3 altcoins and why I believe they will do really well is because as well, they are in what I call very good primary narratives. This is what the altcoins are known for and will pump and will pretty much gain its market dominance because of these 3 factors. Again, all layer 1s pump at the same time, all interoperability projects pump at the same time, all DeFi projects pump at the same time. And if you don't believe me, I've made many videos on this. As you can see, all oracles pump at the same time, all gaming pumps at the same time, all DeFi pumps at the same time. We can go on and on forever, okay? So this does happen, and this is what we want to get out of our project. Now, in my opinion, Injective hits 3 huge narratives: interoperability, layer 1, and DeFi. Now, DeFi is quite low on the score here of what I think will be most powerful narratives, but it is one of the biggest and best DeFi projects out there. Therefore, it will gain most of the market in that case. So 3 great narratives. Now, if you look at the last bull market, Injective actually pumped from DeFi. This was a DeFi pump, and the layer 1 pump slightly. But again, it was less known back then for being these 2 things, whereas now it's got a lot more market dominance already. It's got a lot more social dominance. People know about it, and therefore it will really blow up. I just wanted to show you this because this just proves my point of, hey, it's already known for DeFi and layer 1. Now I believe it'll also be known for interoperability because it connects multiple different networks in a DeFi way. So for all you moon boys out there, okay, so that's great. That's a $400 token, but what about a $1,000 token? Well, actually, if we continue to 10x year on year, which we have the last 12 months, over the next 2 years, we actually might hit a 2% market dominance in 2025, not a 1%, which means we can hit the $100 billion market cap 30x from here at a 5 trillion global market cap, which again, I think is very, very possible. I think we will hit a 5 trillion global market cap. And in this case, I think Injective could be on the cards to hit a 2% market dominance as well. So very bullish indeed for Injective protocol. But now what about the next, which is Render? Now, again, I'm not going to explain that whole process behind market dominance percentage again. All I want to do is go through the process with you. So Render Network, I believe realistic predictions are a 10x. Yeah, that's actually pumped up a little bit to $5, but I believe it was roughly speaking about $4 the last few days here. $75 and $100 as well. So these guys have, again, a burn mechanism coming into effect. It's yet to start as far as I believe. It's going to burn 45% of every single transaction or job, which is even bigger than a transaction, every time. It's just huge. It's going to really make the network deflationary. I believe, roughly speaking, we'll see about 401 tokens in supply, meaning at $50, we'll have a $20 billion market cap, $75, $30 billion, and $100 token, a $40 billion token. Yeah, it can go a lot more than that, but I'm just not entirely sure it holds as much weight and strength as something like Injective. But over here, what's we looking at for the market? Well, I think a reasonable target here is 30 billion market cap or a $75 billion token. Now, from today's price, that's about a 15x. And this is all we have to hit. Notice it's a lot lower than what Injective was, right? 1% down here at 3 trillion, okay? Now, if we come out and zoom to see what it's done before, it's a very eerily similar situation to what Injective was, right? Last bull market didn't really perform very well, very, very low market dominance because it wasn't really known for the most part. Again, it has to be known for that particular narrative or thing it does to pump in the narratives. Over here, again, same percentage at the start of the year as Injective, and it's the same percentage now as Injective, therefore it's 10x over the last 12 months. And again, if it does the same thing, it will reach a 1% market dominance in 2025. But it's not 4 trillion global market cap. We only need a 3 trillion over here because, again, we're pretty much looking for a lower market cap. We're looking for effectively a $30 billion project. But keep in mind, again, if it continues at its current trajectory and hits a 2% market dominance, again, pretty much getting 10x every single year, like Injective does, we could see a $175 token at a 70 billion market cap, I believe is a realistic target here, which all we have to do is reach a 3.5 trillion global market cap. So basically, what that all effectively means is Render can actually, like, literally blow the house down, right? Blow the damn house down. You imagine a $70 billion market cap at only $3.5 trillion global market. That's just insane for me, right? Normally that would be required up here, right? So for H-bar required something like up here. So it's just working off basically what it's been performing like over the last 12 months. Literally insane. Now, just like Injective, again, pretty powerful narratives, mostly in AI and cloud infrastructure. Not really AR and VR, but I believe it will actually pan out because, again, it's like the leader in that space, right? Now, over here, it has pumped from 2 previous narratives in the last cycle, giving me more confidence in these, particularly gaming over here and storage/cloud infrastructure as well. So you're likely going to see it pump in those narratives again. Plus, also, you could probably pair it into the AR, VR if that's actually becomes a real thing as well. So yeah, overall, very bullish for Render Network. And again, you want to use these market dominance on our side, all right? What has it done recently in the past, and how can we use that information to dictate where it's going? Because again, market dominance just means it's performing better than the market. If it's gaining, it's outpacing the market, and typically, again, projects outpace the market when they have these narrative seasons happening, okay? And of course, last but definitely not least, we have ICP. ICP over here, my predictions are $80 for 2025, 120 and 150. That's a 25x, 20x, and 13x from the current price. Again, putting some weight onto it, considering this supply as well. $80 is a $50 billion market cap, 80 billion and 100 billion. Now, why do I think it's going to really do these things? Why is my average a lot higher than the other 2 projects? Well, simply because when people catch on, Definity, the parent company of ICP, they're doing massive things. It's been acknowledged by many big players in the space, including Vitalik Buterin. When people realize that the launch was butchered, and when a launch doesn't really dictate the quality of a project, a lot of the money is going to flow into this project. I'm really, really bullish on it, right? So over here, burn mechanism, they have burned about 0.03% of the supply so far. This does chop and change. So it's not the largest on this list, but the fact that they have a burn mechanism is quite good. And again, they do have yearly inflation, but again, burn mechanisms just help bring that to a reasonable level. So over here, I would predict a very reasonable market cap is 50 billion. Again, this is kind of like a benchmark in my opinion. I think it can do a lot more than this, by the way. which is an $80 token, a 13x again from today's price. And again, remember, today's prices are inflated, and that would require these market dominance percentage levels at these market caps, okay? So if we just come down here for a second and have a look at what it can actually do, it's a little bit different, right? We're not using its all-time chart. We're going to use the last 12 months because, again, basically the launch butchered the little view we had here of the market dominance score. So basically 3 points we've hit in the last 12 months are the lows over here at 0.1%. So that tells me already we have a very strong level at 0.1%. Now it's 2x its market dominance in only the last 3 months, going up to basically 0.2%. And I believe at this rate, it could most definitely 10x again in the next 24 months. Matter of fact, again, I think it would pair up to Render and also Injective and maybe even 20x over the next 24 months. But if we just go off the bare minimum basics, I think it'll hit, all we need is a 2.5 trillion global cap or more to hit our target of a 13x or $80 price. Again, we are actually lower than the 1.6 minimum over here. We're at 1.8%, which means we can actually drop it down a little bit more, hence the $2.5 trillion global cap, which means we actually need the price or the global market cap to go a little bit less than what it was before for us to hit this target. Again, considering the fact that there is a primary narrative pump for ICP happening at that time. Now, ICP again actually hits the most, in my opinion, narratives out of all this, arguably a lot less strong. Some of these I picked in here because it can be known for these, but I think mainly it'll be known for things like layer 1 and storage, maybe proof of work as well. But I've thrown in AI and interoperability as well because it really is hitting these on the head. Overall, 5 very powerful targets in my opinion. Now, since ICP was introduced too late in the last cycle, as you can see very end over here, we don't really have anything to go off based on its primary pumps, but I guarantee you right now it'll pump from things like proof of work and most definitely layer 1. The other 3, it may or may not. Definitely it'll find some strength as well, but that'll be when the price really does pump. Now, for the Moon Boys out there, just like Injective and Render, ICP has shown extreme strength recently, and I believe it can reach a 3% market dominance. Yes, 3%. So in my opinion, we could actually hit a $150 token or a 25x from today, which actually, again, is that $100 billion cap target at a $3.5 trillion global market cap. Absolutely insane predictions for these 3 projects. And again, don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm just going off math. I'm going off with what's out there and how these projects have performed over the last few months and 12 months. So guys, with that being said, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, drop a like on the video. Really do appreciate it. And with that said, I will talk to you all very, very soon. Take good care. Bye.